Well, I've started working the first woodland of the day here, and up ahead, silhouetted with the background sun, I've spotted this squirrel here. He knows I'm there and has seen my approach and has decided to pin himself tightly against this tree branch, hoping that I don't see him. But I have spotted him. So he's at 25 yards away, and I've decided the best way of taking this squirrel out is with a freehand shot. So I take off my game bag just in case this hinders my shot in any way. So I shoulder the rifle and centre the crosshairs on his head. I dispatch him with a nice clean shot there. But the squirrel doesn't manage to fall down. Now I know the squirrel's dead, but he's managed to get himself stuck in a V branch at the top of this tree.
That's the first squirrel of the day today again now. Took him with a nice clean headshot, as I always try to do. When I shot this squirrel, he actually got stuck up this tree for a little while. I couldn't get him down. He was right at the top there, stuck in the V shape. So I had to get a big long branch to try and tease him out of the tree. But taken me about 10 minutes to get him down, but I got him in the end. So I'm happy with that shot. Again, I was just mooching up the forestry track there, and I spotted him at the top of the tree. He was basking in the sun, and I took him out. So that's another clean squirrel for the table. So I'll pop him in the bag and we'll have a look again and go to another woodland and see if there's any more about today. Okay. Okay, we'll go to the other woodlands.
So I'm in another patch of woodland here, and I'm slowly trying to make my way through all this dense sort of brambles and thorns, but trying to go quietly as I go. When up ahead, I've spotted this squirrel here in a clear opening. He's at about 35 yards, but again, I carry on cautiously forward so I can get myself into a nice comfortable shooting position. And once I get to this spot here, I decide to use this tree as a nice steady rest as I centre the crosshairs on this squirrel's head. And as soon as my crosshairs go rock steady, I squeeze the trigger and dispatch this squirrel with a nice clean headshot again. And before I move, I rebolt the rifle. Something I always do when I'm going to pick up a squirrel I've just shot is remain alert, and as I'm making my way forward, I continue to scan the treetops ahead of me, as I've had a few squirrels in the past run off as I've made my way forward like this, and have lost me opportunities.
There we go. That's the second squirrel of the day here today. I was making my way again, just mooching through the woodland, spotted this squirrel as you saw, and I shot it. It's a female squirrel, this one. Shot it her straight through here, and as you can see, it's come out the other side. That was about 35 yards, that shot there, and killed her nice and cleanly. So that's the second one of the day.
Well, I've had a couple of hours of enjoyable hunting, and I've managed to get me 2 squirrels, which I'm now going to show you how to make a lovely meal out of them. So coming up is a simple curry that any of you will be able to make, with ingredients and also step-by-step instructions on how to make this curry. Right, I've shot my 2 squirrels, and now I'm going to show you how to make a lovely squirrel curry out of these 2. First of all, to save time, I've diced up and chopped all the meat, clean off the bone, and I've washed these squirrels thoroughly, because what you'll find when you skin and gut a squirrel is sometimes it leaves little tiny hairs on the meat. You want to make sure that gets cleaned off. You don't want any of that in your food. So this has been chopped and washed thoroughly. You're going to need a medium-sized wok, a good sharp kitchen knife,
you're going to need some kind of curry paste. I'm going to use this Balti paste here, which is quite nice. You'll need a block of salted butter. Again, anyone will do, that's no problem. You're going to need olive oil. You will also need, if you haven't got fresh chilies, if I had fresh chilies I'd use them, but I haven't, so I'm going to use this hot and spicy paprika, which will give it a nice little kick. And you'll need sea salt, and you'll need pepper, you'll need a small onion, and 3 cloves of garlic. Now you can put more garlic if you like it, but I find 3 works just well with this. And I'm also going to use some fresh rosemary, which I've got in the tub, which I'll show you now. There, I'm going to put some of that in as well. So now, I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I've now diced up the onions and the garlic, and I'm now moving on to the next step. I'm heating my medium-sized wok up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little drop of olive oil into the wok. Just a drop, you don't need much. Probably about 2 teaspoonfuls. And then get a little bit of butter, a knob of butter on your knife like that, and just drop that in with the olive oil. This is going to give you a nice taste to your meat as it's cooking and seasoning it when it's browning. So I'll just wait for that to heat up now. Okay, now we've got that nice and hot. I'm turning it down to a lower heat now, and I'm just going to add the squirrel meat in. Start giving that a little stir and turn, so it absorbs all those lovely flavours of the oil and the butter. Okay, it's been cooking for about 10 minutes now, and the meat's starting to absorb all the flavours there. So I'm going to add a little bit of pepper in with this now. I'm not going to bother putting salt in because I've got the salted butter which the meat is absorbing. And I'm also now going to throw in my onions that I've chopped, and my garlic, and also my fresh rosemary, which I did off camera, which is now going in. And I'm just going to stir all of that together, which I'm going to show you now. So all that leftover sort of butter and olive oil that's left in the bottom of the pan now, the onions and the garlic will also absorb all that flavour, and it'll be a taste sensation. So I'm literally now just going to slowly carry on cooking this for a further 5 minutes. And I'm also going to heat up some rice, and I'm going to also add the paprika. A good sort of 2 teaspoons of paprika in there now. And mix that up. Now I'm just going to pour this hot water into the pan. This is for the rice. And then this is where your salt comes in then. So just add some salt into your pan and wait for that to come up to the boil. And in the meantime, all your onions and garlic here are starting to caramelise down now. And it's very essential you make sure that the squirrel is fully cooked through. And about 30-35 minutes will ensure that that is cooked thoroughly through. So the next step now is the Balti paste. You're going to want to put in 2 large tablespoons straight into the pan. Like so. And then start to mix that in. Some pastes are thicker than others, so what I do is I add them to whatever I'm cooking, if it's chicken or beef or whatever. If I find it a bit thick, like that is now, I'll thin it down with a little bit of water. Just add some water, not too much, because you want a kind of a thicker curry than a thin one if you can help it, as it's a lot nicer. Just a little bit more water there. Or go with whatever consistency you prefer. Still a bit thick. There we go, that's better. And all I'm going to do now is leave that to simmer away for another 10 minutes now on a low heat. So I'll show you now at the next stage. And there we have it. I'm just going to check the rice, make sure it's cooked to perfection. Yeah, nice light fluffy rice. I'll take off the foil now, throw that in the bin. And that's it, that's your meal ready to go. Just serve myself up a nice decent portion of that. And there you have it, a nice simple squirrel curry that took me 30 to 35 minutes to cook. There's many ways that you can cook squirrel. You can do it in stews, you can fry it, you can barbecue it. There's many ways of doing it, but I just wanted to keep it nice and simple because not everybody is good at cooking, but anybody would be able to make this dish. It's very simple, so that's why I chose to do the curry. Well, all I'm going to do now is I'm going to sit down and enjoy this lovely meal. Okay, let's tuck in. So the last thing to do now, I've had my nice dinner, I'm nice and full, is just to clean up all the dishes and put everything away. Well, I hope you've all enjoyed this video, guys, and I wish you all a happy Christmas and hope you have a good one, and I'll see you all in my next footage. Take care for now, and happy hunting to you all.